And we're live. Hello and welcome to the 182nd episode of Hex Therapy Live. I'm your host, Maddie ALLin. I've got a great show for you tonight. So hit the like and subscribe button, share this out. What are we doing? We're going to be talking about Ethereum, ETF Alpha, and we're also going to be talking about how the sacrifice went, why is Pateus not getting any love from Richard, and all kinds of other really juicy things. So you're in the right place. Welcome to another Thursday night.
It's from Maddie ALLin of Hex Therapy Live. I like Maddie. Maddie tries to make the world a healthier place. He's a mental health professional. He's done research.
Big videos on sudden wealth syndrome.
There's nothing that a human being could do better than try and heal his fellow man.
Maddie ALLin's got that covered. He does emotional, feel-good, mind management, emotion stuff, like, as his gig, because he's a therapist. That's what he does for a living. Like, he helps heal people.
All right. So hopefully my internet isn't coming through too choppy here. Let me know in the comments if it is or if it isn't. Shout out to Whalethie. Good to see you there. David Gomez. Thanks for showing up, y'all. And we got big news in crypto today. The Ethereum ETF was approved by the SEC in somewhat of a surprise decision, in the sense that the market was not anticipating this several days ago. And I reported on this as I was driving 14 hours in the car. I did 7 hours of Twitter Spaces. That must have been on Monday. And so this was all developing on the first day of this week. Now, what's the alpha? What's the major talking point here that not everybody's covering? Well, this is a big deal in the sense that this is a big deal for all of crypto, because there are 3 different pieces of legislation or administrative procedure that are going through right now in the United States. And it seems like the politicians are at least acting like crypto is a significant issue to them in this upcoming election. Now, let me remind you, because I know we've talked about it before, but I want this to be on the top of your mind. Satoshi Nakamoto planned Bitcoin to have a halving immediately before the 4-year election cycle in America every 4 years. And how ironic is it that that it turns out that Ethereum was the thing that that benefited from that this time around so far. But hey, I think that the market was surprised. We saw a 20% run up this week in Ethereum, and really now you would expect a pullback. But people who are watching this channel are not doing the short-term trading. People who are watching this channel are really happy with $3,800 Ethereum and really bullish that it can go much higher. People are excited even more about Hex Impulsion, about PLSX and Incentive Token. So we're gonna talk about a lot of different things tonight in a high signal to noise ratio here. But I do want to go ahead and give you an update on the successful sacrifice that ended this week. It appears that I wrote a really brilliant tweet summarizing what happened with the sacrifice to sign. So for the sake of reinventing the wheel, I'm going to just read it here for those of you listening at home. So it says, this was posted yesterday. My sacrifice for the freedom to sign has ended successfully. It appears that 198 addresses participated, equivalent of 1.6 billion polls. The signature prove participants knew that they would get nothing from me. A quote send transaction is irreversible and no promises were made. To themselves on a list of addresses, their belief in the freedom to sign, even at this time, the market is not in euphoria and hasn't. Interesting. Then I said, I would highly recommend this set of users be airdropped both new and old tokens of value, because I believe they have a level of conviction unlike any other set of addresses in crypto history. Anyone who knows how to use crypto was able to put themselves on the list, and anyone who knows how to make value in crypto can reward this set of users. This sacrifice was presented as a finished product from the beginning. And then I go on to say, if you are a hater, please do leave a comment below. I doubt it will age well. And that's all on the tweet there. So surprising that we did not see much hate in the comments. I was well, maybe it's not surprising. So yeah, there you go. Some positive comments there. And here's a great question from Sharp Guys Sports, who says, "Where's the list?" And so then I further clarified here in this tweet that I taught a free course on chain analysis. Obviously, the list is on chain. You can access my free course. It's a beautiful thing. I haven't talked about this in a while. You can go to pls.gallery, the website pls.gallery. Maybe I should open it up for you here. Let's see. So this is going to take you into a virtual classroom. Almost 900 people have come in here, and you can like zoom around. I don't know if you can see this on screen. Yeah, it's like you're in a conference hall. You can zoom around here. Like you can click on stuff and it'll pop up like a welcome video or a logo. This is before PulseChain came out that because PulseChain was being worked on for a really long time. So, but you can go through here, this virtual classroom, and this will still teach you how to do chain analysis on Ethereum and all that kind of stuff. But like you can click here and it'll pop up the syllabus. How cool is that? That's really cool. There's like super detailed notes on like all the steps that you go through. I really do think like hundreds of people have taken this. And then like, here's the first of 4 2.5 hour long training videos. And even if you already know how to do chain analysis, there's like really interesting topics like the Godwill and the Hex OA and stuff like that. And so there's 4 classes. You like work your way around the virtual classroom, like going through. The syllabus is really kind of like a follow along instruction guide that has links on what you're doing. So there you go. That's cool. There's like 4 episodes of this class, and I'm really proud that I did this like a long time ago and it still works. So check that out if you don't know how to like look on chain. Then I further said I use DBank these days to pull data and then verify the transactions on scan.pulsechain.com and Ethereum and etherscan.io. I might put up an Excel spreadsheet at some point, but anyone who airdrops to this set of users should verify the list for themselves. They should verify the sacrifice list for themselves directly on chain. And you can see the 2 sacrifice addresses. Remember, there was not just on Ethereum and PulseChain, but there was a regular address that was used. And then later on, there was a vault address that lives inside of the primary sacrifice address. And so there were actually 2 different addresses that are both very much related to each other, very much like controlled by the same key. It was just using a time pays me vault as a demonstration of how to keep things secure and segregate things, so on and so forth. So people can go to the, I put a link to this website called x.com/MattyAllIn/highlights. And there's like a place here where you can just see like all my highlighted tweets that I've ever made. There's maybe like 15 or something, 20 different like all-time most important popular tweets that you can check out there. So hopefully that's helpful. Hopefully that answers the questions there. And yeah, shout out to everybody who participated. Cool. What else do we have here? Ooh. Michael Saylor put out a video not too long ago, and he said, Ethereum's never going to get an ETF. Bitcoin's the only real money, blah, 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 blah. And he was on stage. I think it was the MicroStrategy annual conference that he was bloviating at. And, you know, He was wrong. Richard was right. Richard called this a long time ago, that Ethereum was going to get an ETF sooner rather than later. And it's really refreshing to see like people who are paying attention. Like I saw Buck of fiat.io out there admitting that he didn't think it was going to happen this cycle, and it did. I saw a number of other people that were giving props to the people who called it. Steph of StakeRep also admitted that he was wrong about thinking that it wouldn't pass. I mean, this has caught the market somewhat by surprise. Of course, the insiders knew about it. I think I saw a tweet that there was like $100 million of Ethereum moving around this afternoon from Coinbase to self-custody or something. So go figure. But yeah, let's all rub it in that Michael Saylor, he was very clear in his prediction that he got wrong. So well done. Well done. Let's see. What else do we have in the news here for this week? We got Mr. Sami reporting that the Pulse Chain ecosystem continues to grow. And this is a really cool DeFi map by the crypto_B. It seems to just keep getting better and better as we go on. But as you can see, it even has time pays me down here under store of value. That's a good spot. So that's cool. Hey, an ecosystem that keeps growing, that has a genius founder that predicts the future like he's been time traveling in my DeLorean. That's a good thing. Oh, another thing that has happened since Monday is the president's office said that they will not veto the FIT 21 bill that passed, that has already passed the House of Representatives and will go to Congress. And this was a big change because previously they said that they would veto it. And this is part of how I get to do a Maddie was right dance with how I was interpreting things happening from the beginning of the week. You know, like when there was this moment in crypto history, I was reporting live on the day that crypto history was being made, which was actually Monday and not today. But today we got like super confirmation of the political change, and politicians lie all the time. So like it's fine. But this is a big deal because the politicians, they have never even tried before to make it look like they were supporting crypto. I mean, they were against it. And so this FIT 21 bill apparently has like at least one of the three things that's being politically acted on these days has to do with the Federal Reserve being commanded to not create a central bank digital currency, which is like kind of a false headline if you do your critical thinking, like I would always recommend that you do, because like the dollar is already a digital world reserve currency that like is the same thing as a CBDC. So this is kind of, again, like just political theater. But hey, if they want to rule, you know, if Congress or the president's office or the lawmakers, if they want to go out there and say that Ethereum is a commodity, which I believe is the other big news that we had today, that the SEC deep in their paperwork of approving the spot Ethereum ETFs said that Ethereum is a commodity, which that's a huge big deal. So, but go back to my Monday, my 5 hour, you don't have to go back to the 5 hour Twitter spaces that I did. Although it was really different content that I normally create. And I might in fact decide to drive down to Austin, Texas, instead of flying next week for Consensus, because I'm going to my first Ethereum conference ever. Good timing, eh? And just because I liked talking to the people so much. The people on Twitter Spaces are a different crowd, different set of thinkers. They're the silent investors who believe in Pulse Chain, and they don't go crying to their mommy whenever there's a whale dumping or something. You know, these are people that I mean, in my opinion, are really really awesome examples of what it means to be in true crypto. And look, we're all here for the price too. The price matters, but hey, it also matters how you present yourself. And I got to speak to a lot of people on the Twitter Spaces when I opened it up to anybody that they came on, and they impressed me with their resilience, with their ideas, with their conviction, with their dollar cost averaging, with their true belief. So yeah, very, very cool. And then we got not Jerome Powell posting this meme of Vitalik where he's imitating Richard's big PP stuff from 2022. So that's funny. It's like, it was widely thought at the time that Vitalik had stuffed something in his pants to like give a nod or like poke fun at Richard, poking fun at what gets people's attention these days before he became humble Richard. So there you go. Very amusing and inappropriate stuff from the founder of Ethereum, Vitalik Buterin. Oh, here's that tweet I was referring to here that says that that the SEC was classifying Ethereum, the Bitwise Ethereum ETF, as a commodity-based trust share. So if I'm interpreting this correctly, that's a big deal, because previously the SEC was harassing Ethereum to no end. And hey, you know what's a fork of Ethereum that's even more decentralized than Ethereum? Pulse Chain. You guessed it. So this could be good for Pulse. Should we buy more ETH before it goes to 7K? I mean, Ethereum isn't my favorite asset right now. I like it. I have some. I like Pulse a lot, a lot better. And I also like PulseX a lot these days, because those are the things that I didn't get a chance to buy for like 4 years straight, as something that I didn't, those of us who were long-term hex stakers, we didn't have a lot of money to sacrifice compared to how much we had time locked. So I'm really bullish on Pulse Chain and PulseX, but I, also a big hex guy over here, if you couldn't tell by the 182 weeks of streaming every Tuesday and Thursday night on a streak. So, who believes the hardest? That's right. Okay, here, this was one I wanted to talk about, because Proteus, they rock. They're a DEX aggregator. They're kind of like questioning why Richard wasn't mentioning them ever or something whenever he mentions Go Pulse a lot. Now, I know that Go Pulse doesn't work for Richard. It's this is an independent person in the community who's been there the whole time. And I've seen Proteus and Go Pulse both be really good actors in the space. Proteus is pointing out here that that Go Pulse has a similar fee to MetaMask Swap, and that in 10 months they've routed over $3 billion in swaps and $1.2 million, or 1.2 million, which is the count of swap executions. So I think both of these brands are incredibly important to Pulse Chain, and I wouldn't speculate as to like, well, I don't know, would I? Like off the top of my head, I don't know if Proteus is like some sort of competition to PulseX, which is why Richard wouldn't mention it. But I mean, Richard doesn't read social media, and I think all three people have Pulse Chain's best interest at heart. So I just hope that I hope that everybody gets the props that they deserve. I know that that Pateus does a lot of good work, and so does GoPulse. Yeah, so Pateus was like questioning, and they were getting a lot of support from other builders on the chain here, Pulse Domains and others, Hex Toys. So there's a lot of oh, Hans said that he mentioned them, and that Richard mentioned Pateus in the past. It also makes me wonder, for those of you that haven't been here since Hex launched, I want you to remember that Richard had made a really good landmark case for people to have good brands that are pronounceable and like not homophones. And like you can go on hexsearch.io and look up the stream that Richard did where he talked about branding so much. But a lot of us early Hexicans, we adopted that, and that put us ahead of where the community would have been, because the original Hexicans were YouTubers, were like people from, well, no, we weren't like people from the movie 300, because we were actually the people who were in other professions, and then we switched to becoming YouTubers. But it is pretty impressive that we were still doing so well with onboarding and reporting and not becoming corrupted and long-term thinking and all that good kind of stuff. So, yeah, I guess the point I'm trying to make is that Pateus, a lot of people ask like, oh, how do you spell that? Like blah, blah, blah. And that's fine. Like I get such a good deal on Pateus. I persevere through like the fact that the name is hard to spell. And again, I want to just really emphasize the positivity that I have towards this tool on Pulse Chain. And I know there's a lot of other people that feel the same way. Where's my tweet? I got a tweet in here somewhere where I am announcing that I am going to the conference here. The Ethereum conference coming up next week. Here we go. I found I found an image that they put out. It's an older image from Consensus 2024, but they were the ones that put hex colors on it. So I thought that was fun. I said, I just got a ticket to attend this Ethereum conference in Austin, Texas next week. Time for me to pamp your PLS bags for you again. Let me know in the comments if you'll be there. And I tagged Whitney Magic. I know she's going. I tagged Funding Jim. I know he's going. And who else is going? Seth from Mind Your Biz is going. And I know that there are some other Austin natives that will be there. Funding Jim ran a space earlier today giving people networking tips that I think were spot on and really good. And so if you go to my tweet here and go to Funding Jim, you can see his Twitter spaces that was recorded from earlier today. It's only like a 30-minute episode, and it gives you really practical tips for how to network with people. He said you shouldn't spend more than 10 minutes with somebody. When you're at a conference with 15,000 people, you should keep working the room. You should get out their phone and your phone, and you should type your name into their Twitter and follow and open up a DM and then take a picture with them. Say, I want to remember meeting you, and then move on. And that, he's a master networker, and he's also doing this Connect thing where he's connecting with this famous guy, Patrick Bet David, and like creating this competition where Funding Jim and Rags to Riches and Brother KG are in the top 10, and they're trying to get into the top 3 for this competition of this new app, Connect, where people are, it's like going to be a really popular thing where people can pay professionals to get advice through a text message or a video and stuff. So go go to Funding Jim's page and participate in that to help Hexicans get and Pulsicans to get to the top of the list so that we can win that competition and bring massive adoption. We're already like influencing the platform where the Funding Gym talked to the developers and they added a crypto section, like, because the community keeps showing up and making our presence known. I mean, you know, you think about the turning point of like Donald Trump doing these NFT dinners, and there was a huge number of people from the Pulse Chain community that were there at this turning point in crypto history over the past 2 weeks. So B Roots, Funding Gym, Rags to Riches, Cabana Crypto was also there at the Trump dinner that got the Democrats apparently FOMOing into supporting crypto for once. So that's cool. Yeah. What else do we have here? Chat GPT launched something. If you have like a newer Mac, you can download the app and then you can talk to it. That's kind of cool. This is not that, I don't think, but this is a viral video of something similar. But I think they're also stealing Scarlett Johansson's voice and like making an example out of her to where like they can steal somebody's voice, which is kind of interesting because she was in the movie Her. It's like a really good sci-fi movie, just Her, about a man who falls in love with his AI. And this was released several years ago before ChatGPT was the first app. ChatGPT was the first app to hit 100 million users, and it did it in like a couple weeks or something. Whereas like before it had taken months and years for the fastest companies to do that. Let's see. Oh, there was something kind of where people were reporting that there was this whale that was selling $1 million a day. And I guess he's almost out of money, or like he's been doing this for 20 days and he's got 15 days to go or something. But yeah, this kind of stuff can turn around really quickly. And people who were looking on Shane, apparently they said he was trying to obscure his sells to not scare the market and was paying this like high swap fee and slippage on Ethereum by using the MetaMask swap router to like hide his address. And then I guess Sami had like said, oh, maybe it was Richard. And then Richard posted something like, oh, whoever's doing this is dumb. And Richard said he didn't really like understand what the advantage was. And so this person was dumb. And so whether there was an advantage or not, I don't know. But the point is that the person's dumb and we want them out faster rather than slower. So sell lower, cool. And yeah, I mean, look, the future of crypto is bright. The future of Pulse Chain is, in my opinion, never been brighter because of the recent political shift towards Ethereum. If you think about like how gay rights and like gay marriage swept through the country legally very quickly. Some movements take a long time, but there was like a record amount of time where all the states suddenly legalized that. And so I think the best case scenario is that crypto will have a similar like wave of political adoption, which again, like it's not certain, but if it happened, that would be an incredible boom for crypto and something that obviously the market was not pricing in yet, or maybe still isn't. So there you go. I mean, I think I think you're up to speed. I think you got all of your Hex Therapy in exactly 30 minutes. That's pretty cool. Showing off my shirt here, the highest of stakes official Hex documentary merch I'm wearing. So yeah, folks, we've got a really exciting week ahead. I might be doing many hours of Twitter Spaces before next week because what do we have here? So the conference starts next week on Wednesday. So I might drive down to Austin on Monday or Tuesday, maybe even Sunday. I'm gonna be doing Twitter Spaces for hours on end at some point when I head down that way. And yeah, if you're in the Austin area, then we might have some sort of meetup or something. I'll be posting on Twitter if that's the case. And consensus, the Ethereum conference is happening May 29th, which is next week on Wednesday through Friday the 31st. So it's like a 3-day conference. That's right. Hit the like button there. The drama the drama about Pateus, I think, is more of like a technical thing that was actually addressed by them. And the case was where like the Tang Gang was creating lots of liquidity between like fresh pairs, and that does not have the same routing efficiencies. And it, like, if I create camera coin and phone coin and I like pair them together, like the swap router isn't going to look at that the same as if I create like phone coin and I pair that with like $1 million of pulse. Right? Like that's a totally different thing. And so I think that there was some maybe lack of education, or worse, that there may have been some competition where the Tang Gang wanted people to use their 9mm exchange and not go through Pateus. And so they started like a ideological war with poor technical reasoning. But hey, somebody could correct me on that and that would be just fine. But I think that there's a technical reason why, yeah, Ash, they were talking smack. So there you go. But hey, yeah, you have to read Twitter pretty closely to pick up on all this stuff. And hey, that's one of the things I enjoy doing for you, the YouTube audience here, and those of you who are watching on X. So hey, do me a favor and hit the like and subscribe button, share this out, do your part, and remember that the future is bright. Make sure to thank all the YouTube streamers that you watch in the comments and the replay. What do you think of PLUSD? I think like there's like a lot of profit to be made by like people who buy stable coins. The copy is like low and then they hype them up, and like that's perfectly fine. I think that this whole stablecoin meme is like a really interesting thing that, Richard made many mentions of before Pulse Chain happened. And so like from just a game theory point of view, it's particularly interesting. Like for me, I don't particularly want to speculate so hard on memes. Like I don't want to jump from like meme stable to meme stable, but I'm sure some people are going to do that and do really well. Yeah, I have nothing against like people memeing stablecoins. That's a perfectly good use of Pulse Chain. For me, like I said before, I am really feeling Pulse Chain and Pulse X and Ink right now. But there's a lot more out there for people to discover and for people to participate in. That's one of the beautiful things about crypto. So with that being said, we talked about a lot of really good alpha today, ranging from the ETH ETF to like all really the inside stuff I've been picking up on Twitter and beyond. So there you go. Hopefully this stream was helpful for y'all, and until next time. Stake wisely, my friends, and peace out.
It's from Maddie ALLin of Hex Therapy Live. I like Maddie. Maddie tries to make the world a healthier place. He's a mental health professional. He's done research.
Big videos on sudden wealth syndrome.
There's nothing that a human being can do better than try and heal his fellow man.
Maddie ALLin's got that covered. He does emotional, feel-good, mind management, emotion stuff, like, as his gig, because he's a therapist. That's what he does for a living. Like, he helps heal people.